Looks like this God comp is just going to be staying back a little bit. India, I can hear you typing.
Um,
Oh.
okay, so the Feral's just sitting. Yeah, he's just sitting back here. They're waiting to get a good opener, I think, because they're wanting this God comp to maybe push into them. They don't want to push in and
Actually,
leave themselves
beautiful
vulnerable.
Mind Seer on that Water Elemental to try to force them out of stealth.
Ooh, I like that. That was cheeky. That was a nice play. Okay, so both mages just trying to stay cool, build up these icicles. Now we have the Horror, Bash onto Claws, and Deep onto Derivative. Will Vedas be able to get the follow-up CC? I don't think he's going to be able to get that. So Mathletes did break that up here, but we still are seeing these CC attempts coming out.
Again, Icy Veins ending in about 5 seconds, but a lot of pressure on the Vedas right off the bat.
Yeah, they
One
actually
coming out.
Yeah, and that wasn't even the Feral's Incarn, so he just got the Shadow Meld Rake, and then there's that full Hodge onto CMG. He does get dispelled out of that, though, and there's the Ironbark onto him. They're trying to get some pressure onto him. Feral still has his Incarnation, but both mages use their Icy Veins there, so right now we're just waiting for this next Deep Freeze setup to come. I think it's going to come very soon. There's the Horror onto Mott Mage, the Deep onto Derivative. Are they going to be able to get the follow-up CC? Nope, Veda's getting just stopped on everything right here, and the Wings comes out by Derivative. Now the pressure's turning around onto Veda as he's taking tons of damage here. And now they have the full deep onto Sugarbeat with the full clone onto CMG. Now there's the full sheep onto Sugarbeat. It looks like there's going to be a little bit of trouble onto Vedas, but I think he's going to be okay. He's just pulling back.
Again, 10 seconds left on Wings for Derivative, trying to keep his team as offensive as possible and keep this damage rolling to prevent the God comp.
Yeah, and a nice full clone onto Sugarbeat. CMG is going to get really low here, and there's no Incarn yet, so if they can force any cooldowns here, this could be scary.
Actually swap onto Claws for a little bit.
Yeah,
with
that Bash. Full Hodge. They didn't get any CC to follow up on Derivative, though. The Mathletes team is doing a great job breaking up Hodge off Coil CC.
Again, I think Hodge off Coil needs to peel back and try to go for a reset, but actually a little bit of damage on a Mob Mage here. But it looks like they're stabilized. Actually, silence on a Claws to prevent any follow-up clones. But Derivative seems like he's going to be pulling his team back.
Yeah, there's the full clone onto Vedas and the deep onto Sugarbeat. Now CMG can't stop the setup. We get the Ironbark coming out by Sugarbeat just barely onto CMG. He's trying to keep himself alive. They use the Hodge onto Vedas. Vedas tried to blink that. Now he's going for that deep sheep setup with a Frost onto Mott Mage. Claw's taking some damage, and then we have the full sheep coming out now. Claw's going to have to use his first wall of the game here, and he's popping his Incarnation, trying to get this counter pressure here, but he's not going to be able to get too much.
It's actually great job and great coordination holding onto the Disperse. You know, a lot of trust in your teammates right there because CMG actually got really low, and I was thinking just to Disperse, but Sugarbeat excellent heals, trying to keep CMG alive so they wouldn't have to overlap that. Actually, CC onto Claws. They're trying to stabilize here, it seems like, to wait for next setup, but so is the Mathletes to try to look for that setup onto Hodge off Coil. So we're going to see what they're going to be doing here.
Yeah, I do like that Hodge off Coil did a pretty good job shutting down this Incarnation. They're very allowed to pop it, and I feel their biggest strength is when they do hold on to that Incarnation and finally get to use it, they're going to be able to force every cooldown, but they got shut down so well by Hodge off Coil. And now we have
life grip right
deep
there
onto Sugarbeat. Oh, deep onto Derivative, Fear onto Mott Mage, and the Horror onto Claws. If they can get this follow-up CC with that full bash, maybe some CC onto Derivative, but unfortunately they're going to get stopped. Both teams just doing a great job just preventing each other from getting CC, but now the full clone onto Derivative. Claw's getting silenced on his clone. He's taking so much damage here. There's the save out of the light. Derivative is going to have to pop his wings right here to keep him offensive at this point.
It looks like they're going to be looking for that next setup. Actually has to resummon that Water Elemental. A great job about keeping those Water Elementals killed. Again, they're going to be looking for a setup right here onto CMG. A lot of damage going. That might be the Disperse right there.
He does shift it, but CMG might just die here. He uses the Disperse late, and he just dies with Disperse.
A ton of damage right there.
I think they try to be too greedy because he shifted the deep that the Mathletes team had so much damage available for them, and they just got that quick kill.
They definitely was a little bit greedy holding on to Disperse for so long because that was just a ton of damage coming out on CMG. But again, some of that damage can be unpredictable. You can see the setup, but again, it just happens so fast, so you have to really predict that damage coming out.
Yeah, I think he was waiting on any of the follow-up CC to happen. Like the mage didn't have a Ring of Frost, so he's like, okay, I shifted the deep, should be fine here. JK just died. So poor Shadow Priest. That's the life of playing without a Holy Paladin, because you don't have the execution sentence, or sorry, the Save by the Light as that little buffer. But I'm not sure. That matchup kind of looked back and forth. I think the God Comp still might be able to take a win here, but we'll have to see.
Okay. Asking our lost team which map they prefer to go on to next, and it looks like we're going to be jumping into Tolvaron Arena for the second game of this series.
Tolvaron, a really good map choice for God Comp, allowing them to get that CC a little bit easier. And one of the things to note is that they're actually silencing Claws, and I don't know if that was they were shutting down a lot of that follow-up clones, but I'm not sure if that was a really good decision rather than just silencing the Paladin to prevent him from healing. But they actually almost got a kill on Claws at one point. So we'll see if they switch up the CC a little bit, maybe switch onto a different target. But I believe Indy's going to be going and playing that intro, and then we'll get back to you.
Okay, so let's get this intro rolling, and we'll be right back.
Okay, cool. So you have the Tolvaron pick. I actually like this because it gives them a lot more room for this God comp to kite. Plus, if the Feral overextends on this map, that means that he's going to be in a lot more trouble. But on those smaller maps, the Feral is kind of safe if he wants the line of sight and that God comp wants to chase him on something like Rune's Lordaeron, for example. They're going to be putting themselves in such a bad spot. But I think here, positioning is going to be super key for this God comp to winning this matchup.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have both teams kind of sitting up right now. A little bit spread out to kind of prevent maybe some follow-up CC, but it looks like CMG and Vindiz is actually they're going to be trading out some Frostbolts to try to get those Icicle buffs, but it looks like Claws is going to be opening up right here and putting out a little bit of CC onto Hodge of Coil.
Yeah, he goes for that Shadow Meld Rake onto CMG, getting him very low. That's already the Iron Bark, but the D goes onto Derivative. Icy Veins coming out by Vedaz, and he actually isn't going to be able to get the Sheep onto Derivative, only the Frost Shot, but he's getting spam controlled by Mop Mage, doing a great job at preventing his setups.
Very early wings out from Derivative to try to keep his team offensive because Klaus is actually dipping pretty low, but they're actually turning the pressure onto Vedaz.
Onto Sugar Beat. Yeah, that Maim onto Vedaz, he didn't have a blink available because he pushed in for that, and already Hot Off Coil starting to fall behind.
One thing that Vedaz is doing beautifully is continuously just...
A full clone coming out by Colossus might have to be the first block of the game. Yep, that's going to be it.
Full bash onto CMG actually ends up trinketing that immediately to try to counter pressure as much as he can, but Claus is doing a beautiful job trying to kite away, trying to prevent the setup. Mob Mage is actually dipping really, really low. Again, he does not have that. He does have the block available to him. Again, half clone onto Derivative, and they're going to be trying to set up off this block if possible, trying to prevent him from getting healed up to full health so they can try to do anything to this mage to try to land a kill.
Yeah, now they have this full deep onto Sugarbeat. He does get the polymorph, but Sugarbeat's just going to trinket that. There's the Bark Skin onto CMG, and there's the Incarnate popping out by Claws. They're trying to get as much pressure as possible. He just clones CMG on that Bark, just trying to keep the Druid from doing anything to him.
Sounds actually ended on Derivative. It looks like the team of the Mathletes is just going to stabilize here as Incarnation is still popped. They're doing a beautiful job at CCing this, trying to kite away from this Incarn. He's not really doing too much with this Incarn. Switching over to Vedaz, trying to put out as much pressure as he can, and Incarn just faded. It's a beautiful job CCing him throughout the entire Incarn. They're actually going to be swapping over to Vedaz, doing a lot of damage. Might be the second block.
Is he going to be able to get the Sheep? He doesn't get the Sheep out, but if they can get any follow-up CC, they're going to be able to put...
Claws is really low.
Yeah, but Claws got that low clone onto Vedaz. That was a great play by him.
Superlike actually procs on Clouds. There's a lot of damage. It looks like they're going to be going for a reset because they want to save as much cooldowns as they can for the next setup. Again, both teams just trying to stabilize right now. Actually got the re-stealth there for a second, but got taken out.
Yeah, Hot Draft Coil in so much trouble, though. They have no trinkets left. They have Disperse and a block available, but they are in tons of trouble. And this set of lands, there's this deep onto Sugarbeat. If they can get the Sheep to fall up, no, they don't get it.
You're on Clouds. They're actually looking on some really nice triple CC onto Hodge of Coil, but they couldn't really follow up anything with that. They're actually going to switch over to Vedaz, try to put out a little bit of pressure, but beautiful CC onto Claws. He's not really able to connect right now.
Full bash onto Claws, though. They're getting tons of damage on it. They're popping the Frozen Orb, trying to get as much pressure as possible. They have the full deep onto Derivative. He's going to get this full Sheep. Nice play by Vedaz. They're doing what they can to get offensive pressure onto Claws. He's getting kind of low here. He does use this bash onto Vedaz, though, who had to offensively blink in for that Sheep. Now there's the clone onto CMG. Great play by Claws. They're doing what they can to pressure Vedaz with this deep onto Sugarbeat. They're not going to be able to get the follow-up CC onto him.
Claus trying to stabilize again. He still has both his walls available to him just in case he gets in trouble. Mob Mage actually dipping a little bit low. Derivative still has those wings actually popping up another 10 seconds so he can try to keep his team offensive if he decides to pop those wings. But other than that, he is looking pretty good on cooldowns. Again, Sugarbeat having both the Bark and Iron Skin coming up. really soon, and he does have that bash coming up really soon as well.
With the horror onto Claus, they have the clone onto Mop Mage. Nice play by Sugarbeat. They have the 3v1. Claus in tons of trouble having to use his first wall of the game. He still has a string in his wall available, and Derivative still has a string in bubble though. So
beautiful triple fear.
I don't think they're going to be able to force too much here.
Beautiful triple fear coming out from CMG. Again, Claus still dipping a little bit low. Saberlock does proc. And he's actually going to be, Derivative is going to be popping his wings right here to try to keep his team offensive and stabilize. Claus actually looking for a re-stealth here to try to get another opener, and he actually gets taken out right there, so really good play.
Yeah, that was a very nice Blizzard coming out there, and they're doing what they can to stop them. They have this full silence onto Derivative with the horror onto Claus. Looks like Vedas is trying to get his setup here, but I think he's going to get stopped. Yeah, he's going to get sheeped up by Mop Mage, just waiting for Vedas to push in and just stopping all of the setups.
Incarnation actually coming up in 5 seconds as well as Berserk, so we are going to see some really nice pressure coming out from the map.
They already forced the Iron Bark already onto CMG, so without this Iron Bark available, if they can get a new setup and just pop this Incarn, I think there's going to be tons of trouble. Claus already got this re-stealth here, so this is their window to kill.
Again, Hodge of Quail doing a great job at CCing this Incarn. So
nice
they can land some cross CC.
Deep onto Sugarbeat. Are they going to be able to get the ring? He gets stopped on the Ring of Frost. Sugarbeat had shifted that, so he can't get sheeped. Mop Mage still has his Icy Veins up, though, and he does get the sheep onto Sugarbeat out of form, and CMG is going so low here. They have tons of pressure. If they can even force this dispersion without Claus popping this Incarn, this would be very, very bad for Hodge of Coil.
Both heroes looking actually pretty even in mana. We're going to see Sugarbeat trying to get a drink maybe, but a lot of damage on a Mop Mage. This might be his block. He's actually being a little bit greedy with that block, seeing his Save by Like did proc, and it looks like Derivative is actually going to be able to pick him up pretty nicely. He still has his bubble and trinket available to him just in case he gets into trouble. Although Sugarbeat does not have his trinket available to him, so the next setup could be pretty deadly.
Yeah, it looks like the Deep's about to come out here. We have the Sheep onto Vedas with his Deep. Vedas knew he had to block that to try to stop the setup, and he stops the setup onto Sugarbeat. Great play by Vedas, knowing that he had to immediately stop that. There's the Iron Bark onto CMG. Frost Shot onto Derivative. If they can get this follow-up Sheep on him, this would be huge. They got the clone, though, and the silence onto Mop Mage. Tons of pressure coming out onto Claus. He's getting pretty low, but actually turning on the pressure onto Mop Mage. That's going to be the last block right there. And this is the wings by Derivative, so they had a bit of an overlap there. The Mathletes actually only have a bubble and one block available, so this could be pretty bad for them if this Hodge off Coil team can get one more setup. There's a full Frost Shot onto Derivative, though, and a full Sheep on him again. The pressure is just non-stop here, and they use the offensive Deep onto Claus here, trying to get as much damage as possible. Half Sheep followed into that Horrify on Claus. He's getting dangerously low here. He only has one wall left, and he's going to use it.
Claus might try to turn on the offensive pressure here because he still has that Incarn and Berserk available to him. Again, they need to do something soon because, again, the next setup by Hodge of Coil could be very deadly for the team of the Mathletes.
Yeah, I think he's trying to save this Incarn maybe as a defensive one for when they run out of all these cooldowns, but now he already got this re-stealth, got the Rake onto CMG, trying to get him low, and they have this Deep onto Sugarbeat. If they can get this follow-up CC, nope, there's the silence onto Mop Mage, so great play by CMG, making sure to stop that cross CC from happening. And now there's the full Sheep on Derivative with that bash onto Claus. Mop Mage under tons of pressure. Hodge of Coil doing a great job setting up these cross CCs now.
Sugarbeat actually trying to go for the offensive clone onto Derivative. I believe he actually got kicked on that. Mop Mage still dropping pretty low. The Save by Like is going to proc. They might switch it up onto Claus, though.
Yeah, Horror Mastery used by Derivative as well on that Frost Shot.
CMG actually looking to stabilize. The Iron Bark is popped. But again, it looks like they're just trying to stabilize, looking for the next CC. Again, Trinket coming up for CMG in about 10 seconds. So all the trinkets from Hodge of Quail are going to be coming up soon.
Both of them going at the same time. Deep and Double Fear by CMG. Really great. Now they have the full Sheep coming out on the Mop Mage. He's in that full silence. That's going to be the last block that he has. He got the Massive Spell on the block, though, but they couldn't redot.
Actually going for the Invis right here. Beautiful Invis.
Full blown onto Derivative. Great job by Sugarbeat. Mop Mage is going to be able to be okay here, and I think they're going to swap the pressure onto Claus with that full Frost Shot onto Derivative. Claus going so low here, 39%. That's going to be the last wall that he has. There's the wing spot by Derivative. Mop Mage is super low, though. No Icebox available. I don't think he has to save out a loud proc yet. If CMG can connect, he can get a kill on him. And now the Deep is onto Derivative. It's going to get the follow-up CC. No, it's going to get stopped.
It's a beautiful sacrifice to prevent that follow-up CC by Vedas. Again, Claw's still pretty low. Actually, having to switch into Bear form to prevent any of this damage. Actually gets a beautiful heal for Derivative right before that CC came up. And again,
yeah, and they went for that deep sheep setup, but Mop Mage actually got Frost Shot by Vedas, and then he stole his Icy Veins. So now Mop Mage can't get the setup onto Sugarbeat, and it looks like Hodge off Coil is ready to win this. Incarn comes out, though, by Claus, trying to get the pressure onto both CMG and Vedas right here.
He's
going super offensive.
Vedas looked like he wants to get in a good position again. He has one block available, dipping so low and actually being pretty greedy with that block, trying to save it as long as
He gets
possible.
bopped out of the bash, and now they're going to go for this clone here. And Claus isn't able to get this clone, but Vedas is just so low here. And now,
Vedas,
nice double fear by CMG. And now they're going to get the horror onto Claus. If they can get the